This is a pretty crazy fact. I asked ChatGPT why women file divorce at such a higher rate than men.
So the stats say women leave relationships way more than men do. Whether boyfriend, girlfriend, marriage, whatever it is, women leave more than men.
Men should be concerned that women are initiating more than 70% of divorces.
Are women asking for divorce now more so than men are?
Yes, women are more likely to precipitate divorce than men.
I mean, that's an indication of a healthy freedom.
Yeah. Exit power. That shows you, that's a massive sign of success, that women can leave relationships in a way that they couldn't before because they were trapped economically. And so this kind of economic trap that was marriage, which the women's movement really took aim at and just said this institution of marriage is basically a way to trap and oppress women in relationships of economic dependency, where she'll be powerless because he has the money, right? That feminist critique of traditional marriage was profound and correct. And the results have been extraordinary in unbundling that and giving women economic power. Because without economic power, women don't have choice about marriage. So now we've got this massive rise in women's choice as to whether to marry, who to marry, whether to have kids, who to have kids with, etc. And so you've seen this massive expansion of women's choice and power, which is magnificent and destabilizing, especially for men. Both of those things can be true at once.
Hello fam, how are you all doing? Let's talk about divorce. The rate at which women are filing for divorce is crazy. Many men out there are scared to get married because of the fear of getting divorced. Modern women are not willing to take BS from men as women did in the past. Let's have a look at the reasons why women are filing for divorce. In some marriages, women experience weaponized incompetence. It's a situation where men act like they don't know what to do, they don't know how to do something, just because they don't want the woman to ask them to do it. It's like a woman saying, "Can you help us do the laundry?" And the man is pretending not to know how to use the washer because he doesn't want her to ask him to do it next time. Yeah, a lot of men do that.
My husband cooked dinner for the first time, and I can't even remember how long. To be helpful to his wife. There was a pot right here full of beans that he let boil over because he put them here on the stove and then went and took a nap for 6 hours. Well, the stove's on. And then I refused to clean this up for him because I just cleaned the whole house yesterday and the day before that. Where's the beans, you ask? Oh, well, I just found them. They're right there in the refrigerator in my pot. Don't get married, women. Don't do it.
Here's how you use weaponized incompetence back against your abuser. So my narcissistic abuser likes to leave a full sink of dishes right before he leaves town. I use these and those. He uses those and whatever else. But as long as these are clean, I know I'm safe. And since he doesn't ever do the dishes, which I'll elaborate on, I don't have to worry about what I'm about to do to him. Since I don't use any of the dishes that he uses, I have learned that I can just do that. I'll let them drip dry for a few minutes, and then I will place them where they belong. You're welcome.
Just imagine how frustrated it is for women that have men like that. Are you telling me that those men can't think? Are their brain cells dead? Same men would go to their workplaces and execute difficult tasks, difficult projects. But when they get home, they all of a sudden become dumb. They can't think, they can't reason with their brains. It's obvious that, like I said before, what they're doing is very intentional because they don't want to assist at home. And so many women are fed up. It's annoying, it is frustrating dealing with grown-ups that behave that way.
I don't know about y'all, but weaponized incompetence just do not work on me, especially with a grown-ass man. Go do that shit again. If I send a man to the store and I clearly tell him what I want and he bring back the wrong shit, go get my shit. One time I was with a man at the dispensary. He didn't smoke, but I do, of course. I told him very clearly what I wanted, but he kept coming in and out the store, asking me what I wanted. Bitch, you're not embarrassing me, you're embarrassing yourself. Every time he came out the store asking me to go in with him, no. Go get my shit. Do what I told you to do.
No. No, 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 no! Why did you do this?
You just put that in there?
Yes. Why did you put this whole pot in there?
This is why I'm so grateful that women come on this app every day to share their stories, because whether the younger women are learning what to do and what not to do, they're still learning. Women on the internet have shown other women what weaponized incompetence looks like. This is what your mother and your grandmother and your great-great-grandmother experienced, but didn't have a name for it. They didn't have the proper verbiage for it. They didn't realize that not every man in a marriage acts like this. Men condition women to accept weaponized incompetence when they just ignore it. I can do it badly. She's gonna fix it. She's gonna handle it. No. She called him in their name and shame, filmed him and everything. Call them out on it. Don't let them get away with acting like they don't know no better, like they're some kind of child. Are women 10 and 20 years into a relationship still putting up with this because they never shut it down? Because they just kept on saying, men will be men, or this is what men are like. No, this is not what men are like. This is what your man is like, because you never checked him.
Cheating is another reason why women are filing for divorce. Having a cheating partner at home is a very risky one, because that man can easily infect you with sexually transmitted diseases. Some of them are even not curable. A married woman caught her husband cheating. This woman has a child for this man. She had no idea he was a cheat. This man went grocery shopping for his side chick. Let's have a look.
How y'all doing? Hi, don't hit him. Don't hit him. So you out here making groceries? You can't make groceries at home? This what we out here doing? This what we out here doing? Oh yeah. This what we out here doing. This what we out here doing. No. You cheating on me. You can't take care of your son. You up here. That's why you text me. NTL Wallace will know. I don't care about NTL Wallace. Okay, but you cheating. You cheating. Not in a hunger. Groceries, buying groceries. You ain't buy groceries for your own child. Let's get some of this to take to my baby. What you got going on, bro? I told you were cheating on me. On here on the coast. Oh, guess what, baby? I got everything. And everything. Get some more groceries, man. You don't buy junk for nobody else's house. What you got going on here, bro? All the way on the coast. You can't even take care of your baby. Up here on the mountain.
Check your blocked call list. Did you guys see the video of the woman who's been married for 9 years and has children with a man, and she found out that he cheated on her with over 200 women because she found one woman on his social media, and the woman said, text me so that we can talk about the fact that, yes, I'm with your husband. He is cheating on you. And when she went to text the woman, the text messages wouldn't go through, to which she realized this woman's number was already blocked in her phone. She has never spoken to her before. So she went into her blocked calls, and that's where she found the over 200 phone numbers of all the women he has cheated on, which he blocked in her phone so that if they find out about her, they can never call her and tell her about it. So now she's warning everyone in relationships to...
Here is another woman that caught her husband cheating on her. She's been married to this man for 12 years and he was cheating on her with a 21-year-old girl he met at the gym. She caught them at the restaurant and she said she was 3 months postpartum when that happened.
Man, you're with a 21-year-old slut that nobody's married. Nobody's I know that you're a whore. You should be a Zarin. Nobody gets a love.
I'm not. It's my life. What I do with my life after what you've done to us is not your business. You had every opportunity to fix things from the beginning. You did too much to turn back. You did too much for me to ever want anything with you, to fix anything, to put my life in your hands again. Do you understand?
I'm just telling you right now, Lisa, man. I want you to understand this. I'm not walking away and giving up. I'm not letting my wife go like that. And I'm not letting somebody else steal my wife from me. And you can call it whatever you want to call it, okay?
I want to tell my husband happy Father's Day.
Thank you, wife. Appreciate it. I want to get this booty hanging from a bridge right here.
Cheating. This morning I got a call from a young lady. She been in a relationship with my husband for 5 years since he been dealing with multiple, women. For the last 2 years, my husband leave out the house at 7:30 a.m., 7:30 a.m. and don't come. I work extra hard. This girl said my husband give her $1,000 every 2 weeks for her bills and stuff like that. She told me she lied about her name. She told me everything that I never fucked nobody on. Never fucked nobody. I know three different people for a fact. I know he fucked. We went through a lot. We got past that shit. But I'm just tired of being number one when I know it's somebody out there that want to call me, that want to talk to me, that wants to be around me, that, you know what I'm saying?
And we can talk to y'all and we can do whatever y'all say. But at the end of the day, this is my wife. I love her. We going through something right now. She hurt. But we going to make it right. We going to make it right. People go through things. We go through things. So, I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Do you know how embarrassing that is? After showing off your husband on the internet, and you're back here telling us about how he cheated on you and how he's spending his money on his side piece. Men will stain your white, they say. Trusting a man not to cheat on you is a high-risk decision. I'm not saying all men cheat. I'm not putting all men out there in this category. But believe me, some men are silently cheating on their wives. And I tell you, it's going to take those women centuries to find out that their husbands are cheating, because some men are good at covering their tracks. They are smooth operators. Then, for some women that don't have the cheating problem, women that are not experiencing cheating husbands, some of them are suffering from lack of emotional connection. Some men don't know how to connect to women emotionally because of how the society taught them to be, how the society conditioned them to be.
But it is very important to me to talk about men's emotional connection, so let's do this. First of all, your emotional connection is not in your dick. I promise. What's happened here is you have been conditioned your whole life from childhood to not be able to feel your emotions, and you probably can't even access them until you've had that release. Not all men, but many men have been conditioned to have their whole system shut down to anything that is not anger or sexual arousal. But this emotional connection is a lie, and you're holding it hostage to get fucked, because you do form emotional connections with your mom and your sister and your buddies. My ex-husband used to cry at commercials, and it pissed me off. And I didn't know why it pissed me off so bad, because I was not an angry person. I'm still not a person who gets angry very easily, but I got angry when he cried at commercials. And you know why? I figured it out after we split. It's because he used to say the same thing. He couldn't have an emotional connection with me unless he was inside me. So what a mind fuck to watch him crying over a commercial, to watch him get along just great emotionally with all his friends and family. But with me, somehow it's not possible unless I'm naked. And even then, it doesn't last very long. I get the nice guy for a few hours, maybe half of the next day. And then he starts to get a little pissed off because he needs that emotional connection again. But I don't think that's the problem at all. You want to know what the real problem is? This is what I think. I think the real problem is that you're a bunch of emotionally avoidant dingbats who didn't marry the woman you actually wanted. You didn't marry a woman you actually loved and desired emotionally. You married the woman that turned you on. That's it. You married the woman that gave you a hard on. So of course you can't form an emotional connection to her because you don't actually want one.
I saw a post that said, if you're a very loving woman, emotionally unavailable men will ruin you. I don't think they'll ruin you, but they'll definitely teach you some life lessons. And in my case, it just gets old quick. And then you realize, like, this isn't a type of person that I want to be with long term. I was dealing with an emotionally unavailable man for like 2 years. And I just said this to my friend this week. I was like, I'm done dating those kind of guys. Because I am a loving woman, I'm a lover girl. So if I miss you, I'm gonna text you, I'm gonna call you. If I want to see you, I'm gonna vocalize that. That's just who I am. So I really can't deal with another person who can't reciprocate that same energy. That nonchalant, I can't express my emotions, or they've mastered like just turning their emotions off and not communicating how they feel. I can't deal with that no more. Yeah, so once I see those signs that they're emotionally unavailable, I'm going to have to respectfully decline. Been there, done that, would not recommend.
Which comes first, emotional connection or sexual intimacy? Feels very much like a chicken and the egg situation sometimes, and I want to know what you think, but I want to give my thoughts on this, and I think emotional connection has to come before sexual intimacy. And I think a lot of men struggle with that. This is my opinion. This is what I see. I think a lot of men struggle with emotional connection because emotional connection requires being vulnerable, requires talking about your deepest fears, your goals, your shortcomings, your needs, your emotions, your feelings. And a lot of men did not grow up being taught how to effectively and respectfully communicate those things. They never were really taught how to handle and cope with those emotions, so they don't know how to communicate them with their partner. And they also don't know what to do when their partner communicates their feelings and emotions to them, which is why a lot of women say that their partner completely invalidates them. They come to them talking to them about an issue, and all they're doing is giving them solutions. We don't always want solutions. We need validation. If I come to my husband and I'm talking about an issue, be it like with a family member, his immediate thing is, you know what? I hear you. I am in complete agreement with you. Whether he really is or not, he's like, I get it. He's a sounding board. He is never like, you're being irrational, you're being emotional, you're being difficult. He never downplays my feelings and emotions. And I don't think I know that that's not normal, because I know that a lot of men don't have high emotional intelligence. And I think that is what creates this wedge, because women need emotional connection before physical sexual intimacy. Another part of emotional connection is being empathetic, being able to put yourself in another person's shoes, to see a different perspective, to find a way to relate to what they're feeling. And a lot of men lack basic empathy. Again, this comes back to them not being taught how to have basic empathy, not knowing what to do with their emotions and their feelings. So they can't empathize with their wife, with their girlfriend, with their partner. When you empathize with your partner, that is such a deep level of connection, because it feels like they know you. They know you on this very, very deeply connected level. So you can imagine how it goes when one partner doesn't know how to talk about their emotions and feelings, and they don't know how to validate their partners when they're doing it.
If you find yourself in a relationship with a man that lacks emotional connection, a man that doesn't know how to tap into the emotional aspect of him, just know this: you are the one that will automatically take on that role. You will be the one to carry the emotional burden, mental burden, and you will find yourself doing it alone and nobody doing it for you. This is very common. When that man is emotionally down, he would expect you to be there for him. When he's struggling mentally, he would expect you to be there for him. But who does that for you? Let's see how people are reacting to this in the comment section. This man says, a man has to feel safe and comfortable to divulge that information. Simple as that. Emotional connection creates sexual intimacy. It doesn't work the other way round. To some men, they don't necessarily have to be emotionally connected to you for them to want to have sexual intimacy with you. No, I know it goes both ways, but it's more common amongst men. My husband always has to be devil's advocate, and it leaves me feeling so invalidated. My husband and I had a pretty serious conversation about this. I told him I need more empathy and softness from him, opposed to always being so defensive and hard and unapproachable. We don't need solutions, we need validation. It's such a key takeaway. It's just such a foreign and alien concept to not fix things causing distress. The other day I saw a video of a man explaining why women and men are different. He said to men, the reason why men are not emotionally available is because they are fixers. When the woman talks to them about their problem, what comes to mind is let's fix it. Not them realizing that the woman doesn't want you to fix the problem immediately, but just to show emotional support, listen to her, make her feel good, validate her. So he said men are not wired that way. Men are being wired to be fixers. I don't know what I think about that. But when they are the ones down, they would expect you to carry their emotional burden. So I don't know if I should take what he's talking about. I don't believe him. I know some men are fixers, not all men, but I think relationship should be give and take. If you're expecting me to be there for you emotionally, you should also be there for me emotionally. If you think you don't know how to do that emotional aspect, why don't you go out there to learn how to do it? If you can easily go get trained, get a degree, so you can find yourself a high-paying job, why don't you do that as well? In my opinion, if someone truly cares about you and they don't know how to do something that you really like, something that would really make you feel better, that person would learn how to do it. So all I see and hear are men making excuses. That's some period.
To me, this looks like punishment. This looks like I want you to consider this the next time you try to leave me with these kids for 11 days. Every day that she's in there, picking up behind like all this mess all over the place, that she's scrubbing the walls, that she's doing the dishes that are piled up to the ceiling, that she's picking up all this stuff on the ground, she's going to think, maybe I shouldn't have left them. Maybe I shouldn't have gone away. This woman who has done everything for everybody in that family, 24/7, 365 days a year, took 11 days off just for her. And this is what she comes home to. In the caption, she said something along the lines of, at least the kids are alive. Oh, yes, because this is the bare minimum. This isn't like, hey, the kids got a little messy while you were gone. This is like, kids, have at it. The maid will be back in 11 days. Instead of, we missed you. Here's some flowers. The kids and I cleaned up as best we could. Or here's a welcome home dinner. Or here's this. Or here's a card the kids made. Welcome back, mommy. This is get back to work. You had your 11 days off. You had your fun. Get back to work. Get back to cooking and cleaning. And we saved all of this for you to make up for the 11 days that you were having a good time. This is him sending her a message. This man doesn't have to say anything. The disrespect is all over the floor. It's all in the sink. It's everywhere. This man didn't lift a finger.
Here comes the bulk of the problem. Some men believe in gender role. They believe that some house chores are gendered. Men are not supposed to cook. Men are not supposed to clean. Men are not supposed to take care of the children. They believe it's a woman's job. And that's a big problem. Some men just want to be providers. They believe they are supposed to be providers and protectors. Whatever that has to do with the house, the children, is a woman's job automatically. They don't care if the workload is much or less. They don't want to know. It's a woman's job and they're not willing to assist. Tell me how you're a good team player if you watch your teammates suffer. Not because you think tasks were delegated, then you don't feel the need to assist when you see your team player struggling. A lot of men have this mindset. This is my job. I get my job done. If you're struggling with yours, it's none of my business. I'm not in any way saying that the mindset of gender role is good. Some women love it, while some women don't. For me, I'm more of a partnership person. People should come together to make a progress. If you love someone, you wouldn't want to sit back and watch the person struggle. I understand that being a provider can be a struggle for some men. Going out there and doing those tedious jobs can be a struggle for some men. And when they get back home, they feel so tired. They don't want to assist. I get that. But you should also consider the woman that is doing the bulk of the work. Although some men feel like staying at home is not a job, women are just cruising, they're just chilling. Some men don't appreciate the work women do. So let's say a man does appreciate it and the man is tired. Don't you think the woman that has been home is also tired? If everyone starts saying they're tired and they decide not to do anything, do you think that house is going to move forward? Nope. When you're tired, it's okay to catch some rest. After resting, you get up and get things done.
Sorry.
Don't be sorry, you're always sorry. Don't touch me.
You mad?
Yes, I'm fucking mad.
Why?
Because I have to come home and also pick up to then go cook. And then go take kids' bath and shit like that. Like, come on now.
Un beso?
No.
Why you mad? I'll pick up. It's okay.
I don't need you to pick up.
Please?
You could have done that shit before I got home.
So you don't be mad anymore?
Instead, you've been, I bet you money, haciendo nada.
Haciendo nada.
¿Qué tú estabas haciendo el día entero?
You want me to tell you?
Yes.
My machista boyfriend doesn't help me clean, and I've been sick for the past couple of days. This is how my bathroom looks right now. And unfortunately, when you have a machista boyfriend, you have to be the one who cleans all the time. As a traditional wife and stay-at-home mom, this is my role. No one picks up my slack. I have to clean and I have to cook, even if I'm sick. I did go to the emergency room 2 days in a row, and I've been feeling better, so I decided to pick up my bathroom. And no, I am not ashamed, because sometimes my bathroom does get like this or worse. It's only one of me, and it's 3 of my kids and 1 husband. It is literally 4 versus 1. I am not an octopus. I cannot do a million things at the same time. And it doesn't matter how many hours my husband works, I still have to pick up the messes in the house, even if I'm sick. This is the reality of dating Mexican or Hispanic men. They have very high expectations of you as a wife, but I'd rather be at home and be cleaning, even though if I'm sick, rather than to be working out in the sun, getting dehydrated, drinking a couple modelos. Fortunately, I have been feeling better, so we'll see how the next week goes.
And then you would find some men that are willing to contribute. You would often hear them say, I want to assist. How do you want me to assist you? How do you want me to help you? Come off it. You're not assisting her. She doesn't own the house. She doesn't own the children alone. The relationship is not hers alone. It's partnership. 2 people are equally involved in that relationship. So you're not assisting her. It's the mindset. They feel like it's the woman's job. So if they want to contribute towards it, they are assisting her. That's why whenever I hear people talk about my husband assist me at home, it triggers me. I get upset. That man is not assisting you. He's doing his job. He's playing his role. He's doing his part. He's not assisting you. You are not the owner of the relationship.
My husband doesn't help me around the house. I correct people all the time who say, oh my gosh, you're so lucky that your husband helps you. He does not help me. Doing dishes, doing laundry, picking up, vacuuming the house, cooking, that is not help to me. Okay? That doesn't help me. Those things are not my duties. No one wrote my name down next to Ivory does these things and he will help. If he does these things, he's helping me. No, baby. No. Absolutely not. Whenever people tell me that, I'm like, what are you talking about? This his house, them his dishes, that's his kid, them his clothes. That's not help to me. He's doing stuff he has to do, just like I do stuff I have to do. Like, we have to think about the way we frame things, because saying you have a husband who helps, no, that's not helping me. You're just doing what you're supposed to be doing.
I don't help my wife cook. I don't help her clean, do laundry, take care of the kids, none of that. Because I do what I'm supposed to do as a father and a husband. I cook, I clean, I do the laundry, I take care of the kids. I can't help my wife do those things because they are my job too. Change the way you speak, change the way you think, and grow the fuck up and be a man.
I shared a video where I said my husband and I have an equal partnership, and that now that we do, we have a happier, healthier, thriving relationship. And this person left this comment here, which says, she may be happier, but I bet he's not. Which is really sad, because he's insinuating that men who are in equal, fair partnerships are inherently less happy than when they're in relationships with women who are doing a disproportionate amount of the labor. He's insinuating that men are happier when women are doing the bulk of the cooking and the cleaning and the laundry and the childcare, regardless of whether or not she works full time. Men are happier when they're not expected to do chores or to take care of their own children, or at least that's what this person is insinuating. But I know that's not true. I know there are many men out there who love to care for their own children, which is why they became a parent. I know many men out there who are happy to fold the laundry and to cook dinner because they know that participating in their home is meaningful work and it's important work to do. I know there are men out there who don't inherently hate being a part of the home that they live in and the family they help to create. They actually enjoy it. And so, yes, there's men who will leave comments like this that will insinuate that men are less happy when they're in partnerships that are fair and equal. But I know there are a lot of men out there who love their wives and love their children, and they would never want them to take on an unfair amount of work. They wouldn't be happy in that situation knowing that their partner was unhappy. And so while this person might assume that my husband's unhappy because we have a fair and equitable partnership, I know that's not true. And it says a lot more about him than it says about me or you.
Because of this shitty behavior from men, some women are happier not having men in their spaces. They are happier living alone. They don't want to have anything to do with men, because just having a man in your life can drain you. It's stressful. Men are very demanding. They want you to do things for them, but some of them are not willing to reciprocate.
Having a man-free home is a flex. Having a man-free home is like the ultimate cheat code to life, because imagine getting off of work and you realize that there's no man in your house, and it's calm, it's quiet, it's peaceful, it's clean. Things are where you left them. You don't have to worry about somebody asking you what's for dinner. You don't have to worry about regulating somebody else's emotions, listening to their stories, because men talk and talk and talk and talk, and not having to be available to them. And so when you get off work, it's just really all about you. And if you have children, all about your children when your children come home from school, and your dog and your pets. But life is just so simple when you do not live with a man. Like, I think the best relationships are when he has his own place, you have your own place, and y'all see each other on the weekends.
They want y'all to cook, clean, raise kids, pay half the bills, and turn tricks in the bedroom. That sounds like slavery to me. If I was y'all, I wouldn't do that shit either.
Aside the unequal partnership reason why women are getting divorced, I've heard people argue that some women get divorced because they feel bored, there's boredom, they don't want to be in the relationship anymore, they don't have any tangible reason for wanting to divorce that man. Some also talk about women complaining that they've grown apart. Some people talk about they've grown more than the man is no longer the person they want. There's a way you would grow in life and you would surpass the person you had before in your life, and then it becomes a problem of that person fitting into the new person you have become. Yeah, that does happen. So that's why they would always advise partners to grow side by side. Don't be stagnant while your other partner grows, because the chances of them feeling like you're no longer up to what they want is high if that happens. So it's important for you to strive to get better daily. But anyways, I don't want to change the focus of this conversation. Back to what I was saying. Some women have complained that the reason why they want divorce or they are divorcing is because they've grown apart. This usually does happen frequently amongst women that got married earlier on. When you get married earlier on, you've not fully become your person, yourself. You're still in that state of self-discovery, trying to figure out who you are, what works for you, and you also do need some life experience to go on that journey. Feel free to argue with me, because I know people have different opinions towards this. We have so many people that got married in their teens and they like it, they love it, it's working out for them, while some people it was a bad experience for them. So let me know what you think about this in the comment section. Let's hear what women have to say about divorcing your husband because you grew apart.
Okay, this is gonna piss some people off, but can we normalize the fact that people grow apart? Can we normalize the fact that it's okay that you are not the same person in your 40s that you were in your 20s, and you don't want to be married to the person you were that you married in your 20s? I want to normalize the fact that that's okay. I cannot tell you how many clients, men and women, when they come to me talking about their marriages or their frustrations, they are not even sexually attracted to their partners anymore. And not even anymore. You guys, half of these people never had it in the first place. They got married really young, before they even knew themselves, before they even knew what great sex or intimacy and connection was like. Sometimes two people grow together and that's wonderful, but sometimes people grow apart. And we have to acknowledge as human beings, that's okay. Because when you are in your 30s or 40s and you realize, wow, I have never had great sex with my partner. I've never actually had a big emotional connection with my partner. And that is literally not something you can force. You can't make yourself have that. You cannot force yourself to have an emotional connection that is not there. So as you're discovering yourself and you realize that's a big thing, it plays so much into the downfall of your marriage and your relationship. One person getting healthier and taking care of themselves, and the other one not caring about themselves and self-deprecating and just truly not wanting to grow as a person, that will be a downfall of a marriage or of a relationship. It always will when one person is changing and the other person is not. So we judge people, both men and women, for discovering themselves in their late 30s and 40s because we just think it's completely unacceptable. But how could you break a vow? How could you just all of a sudden not want to be with that person because you didn't even know who you were when you married him? Not to mention, your vow, it is sacred. I get that. It is. With the right person. Because having a vow with the wrong person, you're just living a lie for the both of you. I've had clients that got married really young, didn't know who they were. They got pushed into marriage because their family wanted them to, or because of religious beliefs. All sorts of reasons that go into why they stayed married and they really probably shouldn't have. So we need to stop judging women and men who discover themselves in their late 30s and 40s and truly realize that that marriage is not serving them, because it's the truth. If you expect to be the same person in your 40s that you were in your 20s, but your partner is not, someone grew and it probably wasn't you.
Story time, since inquiring minds want to know, of how I became a single mom. So I got married when I was 23 years old. Highly don't recommend. When you get married at such a young age, you either grow together with a person or you grow apart. So like if there isn't a shared vision, if like two people don't have a similar vision for where they want their future to look like, what they want their future to look like, then they kind of start to grow apart. And I think, actually, I know that's exactly what was happening. I think in my specific case, like I was a very ambitious person and I've always just been that way. I got a bachelor's degree, I got a job, I got a promotion, I went back and got my master's degree. And the person that I was with just did not really have any similar like goals or like anything that they were striving for. When that happens, there's a feeling of maybe, and again, I'm just kind of speaking my side, what I saw is when that happens in a relationship, two people just kind of will drift apart. But I have been divorced for a couple years now, and I've been raising my daughter. I do have primary custody, and he does see her every now and then, usually on the weekends. And then we have shared custody during the summer. So he's a great dad to her, not trying to take him out of her life. Like she loves him, he loves her. We're just going to keep it that way. But getting married young is just, and now I do have friends that got married young and they had a shared vision. And if there is a shared vision, then it makes it really easy for people to stay together. But if the shared vision doesn't exist, then it's not happening. It's challenging, I think, being a single parent and having to really wear both hats in my daughter's life, as far as like, cause she's with me most of the time, and, financial responsibilities, and, it's hard. There's a lot of mom guilt that happens, and, you have to work hard, but at the same time, it's like you have to have some sort of balance, and it's tough. It's a challenge. I don't regret getting divorced at all, because there were so many like limiting things in that relationship that I didn't realize until later on. Just in the wrong relationship, like you're not at your full potential. So this advice is for anybody that wants to get married at a very young age, and that is to make sure that you have a shared vision with the person that you're with, because if there isn't, it makes it really difficult.
So 8 months ago, I got married to my boyfriend of 10 years. And 2 months ago, I filed for divorce. And I know it sounds crazy getting a divorce after 6 months, but honestly, I think the marriage had to happen for me to realize the relationship just wasn't working. Something inside me just felt off. I always felt like there was something wrong in my life that I just couldn't put my finger on. So after getting married, I made it my mission to figure out what was wrong. I learned to question everything in my life and actually listen to my inner voice. And it took me getting to the bottom of everything that wasn't working in my life to realize that it was my relationship that was the one thing I couldn't fix. And my inner voice, it told me that I didn't actually want to fix it. And honestly, I just wanted something different for myself. And that was the hardest thing for me to actually admit, but I am so glad that I did.
The next part of this video is on women regretting their divorce decision. I've seen videos of men making mockery of women because they saw women come online to cry, to pour out their frustration when it comes to dating, finding a new partner. It's difficult. And one thing that is common amongst some women that have been divorced before, they're looking to get married again. They want that family unit. They want that routine. So they're hoping to find a better partner. But at the end of the day, some of them fail at it, so frustration sets in. That does not necessarily mean that they regret divorcing that man, but they're just frustrated with their current reality.
So nobody talks about what it's like to date after divorce. Like going from wife to single again and attempting to be somebody's girlfriend. Because look, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I was a wife for 7 years. Like, I was used to taking care of somebody. Like, I'm so bad when somebody asks me on a date, yeah, come over, I'll cook dinner, because that's the type of person, like, I always cook dinner, like that was my thing. And I have to realize that you need to let somebody take you out on a date. Like, you don't have to take care of them. Like, I want you to come over, I want to wash your clothes, I want to pack you a lunch for the next day for work. Like, it is so hard to get out of that routine and to date. Not to mention, dating in this world is hard enough as it is, much less going from being committed to somebody for all these years to back to the bottom again. Oh, and if you have kids, just bring them right on over. I have a whole playroom dedicated for kids because I have kids. So let's just invite everybody over and meet everybody at the same time. And that's why dating after divorce is so hard, because you're used to taking care of somebody. You're used to taking care of a family all the time, not 50% of the time. You're used to a schedule. You're used to routine, and you don't have that anymore. So when you get out there and date, you have to worry about not being too much, being enough, showing that you're interested, but not showing that you're too interested, because then you're just needy. Look, I'm telling y'all right now, if I ever get married again, I ain't getting divorced again. Like, they just gonna be stuck with me for life, because it is tough out here in these streets. I am not going back to dating. Once I get out these streets, I ain't coming back. So I had a realization today. I've been divorced for 3.5 years, and I went through 1.5 years of counseling after my marriage broke up, and I've dated on and off in that 3.5 years. I don't have any kids, so it was a clean break in my divorce. I'm a church worker. I'm a strong Christian, and I try to live by Christian values and Christian values when dating. I'm also a woman of the real world and understand, when dating, what it's like to date out in the real world. And it is so hard. It is so hard to find someone who is looking for someone of value, who's not wanting to sleep with someone right away, and who's not wanting to, change their morals because they are a single woman. I just can't understand why it's hard out here for us good women. I don't understand. I'm looking for a good man. It's not like I'm out here, looking to change people or anything like that. It's, I've done the work on myself. Last year, I went through a huge weight loss journey, and a guy that I dated last month, I went out with him twice, and both times he was like, you don't look like your photos. Your photos look like you were a lot thinner than what you were in person. Like, what? Are we doing this? Are we really doing that? I don't know why this is hard. I went out for the girlfriend tonight, and
we were talking about like, okay, well, what is it that I need to work on? Because obviously there's something wrong with me because I'm not able to figure out how to be in a healthy, good relationship. And she was like, Emily, what's wrong with you? Like, I don't understand why you think it's you. Like, why you always have to change you. And I'm like, I'm the common denominator, right? Like, I'm the one who's not been able to date someone and be in a relationship. And she's like, what if it's not the right time? And I was like, well, why would God wait this long? I'm 38. It's not like this has been an easy journey for me of being pregnant. I had 3 miscarriages in my first marriage. My time clock is ticking. I've been in youth ministry for 16 years working with teenagers. I'd love to be a mom. Why is this hard? She's like, what if it's not you? What if it's just not the right time? And that's really hard to accept because I'd like to fix something. I'm a fixer. If I can fix it. Do I need to lose some more weight? Do I need to be on a different dating app? Do I need to change something about me? And I hate that answer, that maybe it's not the right time, but maybe it's not the right time. That's really hard to kind of accept. It's really hard. And where are all the good men? Why aren't you looking for good women who are ready to be in a relationship and not sleep around? What are you doing? Where are you? The journey is hard.
We all know how cooked the dating pool is. These days, it's hard to find good men because we have more players than real men that are willing to have a proper, decent relationship. Some divorced women also complained about the stigma that comes with the divorce. This is common amongst the Christian women. Some women have spoken about how the church they were part of treated them. Some have spoken about how people in public react to them the moment they hear they're divorced.
Return to church as a divorced woman looked like this. Are you a student? No, I'm not a student. No. Are you? Are you married? No, I'm not married. No. Well, you must be a young professional. Yes, I'm a young professional. Oh, okay. Well, our young professionals meet on Tuesday nights at 7, and you can learn about all that and connect with people who are just like you. Hey, that sounds amazing. Do you have childcare? Oh, you have a child. Yes, I'm divorced. Oh. I guess you could come to our young families class on Thursdays. We talk a lot about marriage, though. So, okay, well, thanks for visiting.
Hey, sis, I want to share something with you that I think will free you from shame, guilt, and discouragement. As Christian women, the hardest part about divorce isn't so much the divorce, not the severing of the relationship, but the shame that we feel and the condemnation that we experience. Backs are turned on us, fingers are pointed at us, and for some reason, as the woman, we become the problem. We didn't pray enough, we didn't fast enough, and we become the solution. We need to stay, we need to endure. Do it for the children. What would God think? The world is understanding and embraces divorcees with open arms, but it comes with worldly advice, worldly coping mechanisms. I've been divorced from the marriage that I put together for about 8.5 years now. I've been remarried to the man that God had for me for about 7. And one thing I can tell you that the healing process has taught me is that true healing, compassion, and understanding only comes from the Lord. I was blessed to discover very early on in my process that God was not mad at me. He had not changed his mind about me. My desire to be a wife, my desire to have children and raise a family that blesses him. This divorce, this mistake did not disqualify me from all of those things. Sis, the question is not if marriage is sin. Anything that misses the mark is sin. Do you know that the first thing that the Holy Spirit told me to repent of was not the divorce? He told me to repent for marrying a man that I had never even asked God about, for desiring validation from a man and not getting it from God, for expecting a man to fill holes and voids that only God could fill, for saying I do without having peace, for ignoring every red flag that was shown to me, for every time I blamed it on God, wondering how he allowed me to get in this toxic relationship. How did he allow me to marry a man that would verbally and emotionally abuse me? I'm reminded of the woman who was caught in adultery. Jesus did not condemn her, nor did he turn to her accusers to defend her. He simply told her to go and sin no more.
Women don't divorce because they want to raise kids on their own. They divorced because they already were. Most of us didn't just wake up one day and walk. We bent, we broke, we stayed, and we prayed for change. We held it all together. The marriage, the chaos, the calendar, and we did it quietly while falling apart inside. Let's be real. She wasn't just raising the kids. She was running the whole damn show. Doctor's visits, school calls, discipline, love, budgeting, bedtime stories, crisis management. It was all her. She was the family, and she was being told that she still wasn't enough. One day, she stopped begging for connection, stopped explaining her pain, stopped waiting, and started healing. Because when a woman is emotionally starved long enough, she doesn't explode. She just quietly exits. She didn't leave to start fresh. She left because she was done carrying the team all by herself. So don't you dare judge the woman who walked. Understand what it cost her to stay as long as she did. Understand the quiet tears cried beside a man who didn't even notice. Understand the mornings that she showed up smiling because everything depended on her pretending that everything was fine. She didn't break her family. She just stopped lying about being partnered.
Interestingly, while some women speak about the stigma that comes with divorce, the difficulty that comes with finding a new partner, some women situated in some parts of the world are celebrating being divorced. Men find them to be more viable when it comes to dating because to them, they have the experience. Some men would rather go for divorced women that have been divorced 5 times, 6 times, 4 times, because to them, those women have shown that they have marriage experience and they also have the capability to take care of children.
So recently I caught up with an old friend and she was telling me that she got divorced, and I was so surprised because her and her husband were such a cute couple and they had been together for 11 years. So I asked her, like, what happened? I figured something bad happened. She's like, honestly, I was just bored. Like, my husband, all he did was work. I was a stay-at-home mom. We had 3 kids and I just got lonely and bored. And she says that when she would bring it up, like, he would take her out, but it was just boring to her. Like, she needed some excitement in her life. She just felt like she was just a mom and a wife, and her husband just wasn't doing that for her. And she had other friends that had, boyfriends, or like they had just got married and they were always going out, always going on vacation, always partying, like going to the club, going to the bar, hanging out with friends, and they did none of that. And when she would bring it up to her husband would always tell her, like, I gotta work. Like, they had a big house, they had nice things. Like, he was just trying to work. So they ended up getting divorced. And now, she's single, she lives alone, she's working, and she's dating. So then I told her, oh, well, that must be exciting, like dating and stuff. And she's like, no, I fucking hate it. And I was like, why? And she's like, because all they want to do is just have fun. They just want to go to the club. They just want to go to the bar. They just want to hang out, have a good time, and then that's it. She said, no one wants to help me out. Like, I'm trying to find someone that's going to help take care of my kids. She's like, I just want someone to be a provider, not just a good time. So I was all like, well, wasn't that what your husband was doing? And she's like, I know. And I guess now her ex-husband is dating someone, like, seriously. They have been divorced for a total of 3 years, and he has been dating this girl for 2 years. She has 2 kids, and they're already living together. She says that he's fully taking care of her. Like, the girl doesn't work, she's a stay-at-home mom. They haven't had any new kids, but they're planning on having kids. And she's pissed because she's like, how can he move on so fast? Like, I can't even find nobody, and he just found someone so quick, and he didn't even want to give us another try, like, blah, blah, blah. And I was so confused because I was like, okay, so you divorced him because he was always working and you were bored. So now you are single, going out, having a good time, dating, but you don't like that. Now you want someone to take care of you, a provider. And your ex-husband, all he wanted to do was be a provider. That's why now he is dating someone who he has no problem providing for her and her kids. And she's pissed because she's like, why would he go and find someone who has kids? Like, He already has kids. Why would he want to take on that responsibility? And I'm like, wait, aren't you looking for someone to take on that responsibility? I was just giving her a hard time, not gonna lie, because it was kind of funny to me, because I was like, I could tell that she regretted her decision. I could tell. And I've seen a lot of people do shit like this, where they get divorced for reasons that are not, I'm not gonna say they're not valid, because everybody's feelings are valid, but they're fixable problems. Like, I don't know if you guys have this wrong idea of marriage that it's supposed to be like fun and happy all the time. It's not. I feel like every relationship literally depends on compromise. Like, you gotta compromise something. You cannot have everything. And to be honest with you, like, if she was willing to give up on him that quick, like, maybe she just didn't love him that much. Because I cannot even imagine just me being like, oh, I'm bored, I'm gonna divorce my husband, you know? Like, no, you figure it out, you work it out. But I could tell that she's regretting it, because what she thought she wanted is not what she thought she wanted.
As a woman who is in the middle of a divorce at 52, I have few regrets. I was in a marriage for 25 years, 27 in a relationship. And if you are in your 20s and you are in your 30s and you are just in the early stages of getting married, building your career, these are my thoughts to you. Maintain your own bank. Make sure you have credit cards in your own name. These don't include being a secondary card holder. Maintain your own credit score. Have great credit. And be involved in decisions around investing and your finances, because you just never know.
I understand divorce can be very painful. It can be very hurtful, especially in a situation where you think you love the person or you still love the person. You've given your body, your soul, your mind, everything to that person. You've invested a lot into that relationship, and you also have children as a result of that relationship. It can be very, very difficult. It's even worse if you've been in that marriage for a very long time, 10 years, 5 years, 15 years, 20 years. It becomes difficult for you to rewire your brain, retrain yourself, to learn how to do things alone without having a man in your life, without your children having a father. Living together as a family. If you get what I mean, it can be very difficult. But what is more difficult is you finding yourself in a relationship, in a marriage that isn't serving you, in a marriage that you are obviously not happy with your partner, in a marriage that makes you cry, that makes you regret your decision, that makes you regret your existence as a human, a marriage that makes you feel like you are in captivity, you are in bondage, and you want to be freed. It will be a regrettable decision if you find yourself in such a position and you're deciding to keep going because of what people will say, how people will stigmatize you, how people will judge you. Remember, you only live once, and you're not living your life for anyone. You're living your life for yourself. Everyone has got his or her own life to live. We've got mouth. That's why people use it. Mouth is for talking. People are going to talk. When they're tired of talking, they will keep shut. That's life. Everyone has got their own problem. They might talk about you right now or for the next 1 week. They are going to get carried away by their own problem or someone else's problem. You know how social media is, you know how the news is. Someone goes viral today, the next week the people have moved on. That's how life is in reality. So because of this, always do you. The world will adjust. You think everyone is talking about you. You think everyone is focusing on you. The truth is, people care less. No one cares about you. If you're in the news, they talk about you. If you make it to the gossip blogs, they talk about you just for that moment. It is momentarily. After a given period of time, everyone moves on. So why should you live your life based on how people feel or what people think about you? I said all this to say that if you find yourself in a relationship or marriage that is hurting you deep down your soul, eating you up, please pack your bags and leave. I know sometimes it's very difficult. It's easier for us to say pack your bags and leave. It's very difficult because some women don't have financial independence. They have to depend on that man to feed them. So it makes it so difficult for them to live. Some women are in DV situation. I know getting away is not the easiest part of DV situation, but surviving after you've gotten away. The other day, I covered a story on how a man unalived his girlfriend that broke up with him almost 2 years ago. He couldn't move on. He was saying, if I can't have you, no one else will. So men are that way. You might think you've broken free from them if you find yourself in an abusive situation, in a DV situation, and you think you're free. You just might not be free. It might take him 3 years, 5 years to come for revenge, to come unalive you. I get it. I understand. But I tell you, if you have your own money, it makes life easier. You can flee from that environment. You can flee from that state. You can even flee from that country if you feel like staying in that country makes you feel unsafe. Have your own money. I think the mistake a lot of women make is getting into a relationship and saying, I want this man to be a provider man, and the man provides for you 100%, and he tells you, how about you become a stay-at-home mom, and you're happy. There's nothing wrong in wanting to be a stay-at-home mom, but let's be honest with ourselves. Even you yourself cannot be trusted. You might not know the decision you might make tomorrow due to the situation you might find yourself in. Some people can vouch and say, I can never do this, I can never be this, but when they find themselves in some certain situations, they find themselves going back at what they said they wouldn't do, doing what they said they would never do, going back on their words, eating their words. So humans are unpredictable. So are marriages. Your so perfect husband today can become your enemy tomorrow, can turn to be a hater. So you cannot depend on a human. Have your own money. Even if you've decided to be a stay-at-home mom, get paid for staying home because it's a full-time job. Also have a side hustle. Have something that brings money to you. Have your own money in your own name. Even if you're deciding to have a joint account, have your own personal account where you put your own money in your own name. If you're deciding to borrow a loan, let the person that is using the loan borrow the loan in their own name. I've seen cases where marriages broke up and the person that was assisting the other person and decided to take the loan in their own name is being left to pay the loan because the loan is in your name. I'm not saying you should become paranoid and start thinking evil, but let's be realistic. Things happen in life. Being logical, rational, and realistic will help you. Stop living in the world of fantasy. Stop being delusional. Tell yourself the real truth. Nothing lasts forever. Your marriage might be a forever one, good for you, but you just have to protect yourself. What if that forever doesn't come for you? What if your best friend becomes your enemy tomorrow? Your husband becomes your sworn enemy tomorrow? So you have to protect yourself and prepare yourself. Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section, and I will see you all in the next one. Thanks for watching.